All that wouldn't die. It was the summer of 1994, and 10-year-old Lily Martin was a curious girl with a fascination for gruesome and horrific things. She was captivated by ventriloquism, especially Edgar Bergen and his infamous dummy, Charlie Patterson. Little did she know, the fascination would soon turn into a nightmare that would haunt her and her family for the rest of their lives. It all started one bright Saturday afternoon when Lily's father, Rick Martin, stumbled across a small, nondescript shop while passing through the sleepy town of Franhead. The sign above the door simply read, "Tales of Wonder." Drawn in by the peculiar name and the dusty air of mystery surrounding it, Rick walked inside. The shop was cramped, filled to the brim with oddities, ancient books, curiosities from around the world, and strange trinkets. But what caught Rick's eye was a ventriloquist dummy sitting in the corner of the shop, bathed in an eerie amber glow from an old lantern. The dummy had a glossy, lifelike face with a perfectly carved smile and beady eyes that seemed to follow Rick as he moved closer. Despite its somewhat unsettling appearance, the dummy reminded Rick of the joy Lily found in watching Edgar Bergen's performances. He couldn't resist. He approached the counter to ask the old cashier about the doll. The man, thin and with a haggard face, gave him an unsettling smile. "You know," the man said, his voice low and hushed, "when you put your hand inside the doll, he'll come alive." Rick chuckled, thinking it was a strange joke.
"What do you mean?" he asked.
The cashier's eyes seemed to darken. "He's not just a doll, he's different. You'll see." Ignoring the strange warning, Rick bought the doll and took it home. That evening, Lily was overjoyed to receive the gift. The dummy was named Charlie, and she adored him immediately, spending hours in front of the mirror, practicing her ventriloquism skills. But strange things began happening soon after. At first, it was subtle. Lily swore Charlie's smile seemed to widen when no one was looking, and his eyes appeared to gleam in the dim light. But a week later, things truly escalated. One evening, while Lily was playing with Charlie in the living room, she heard soft footsteps, quick and light, on the floorboards. She turned around, expecting to see her dog, but the room was empty. There, sitting innocently on the couch, was Charlie. The same doll they had locked away in the cupboard earlier that evening. No one had touched it. Yet there it was, smiling as if waiting for them. Panic set in. Lily's uncle Javier was staying with them at the time. One afternoon, when Rick and Lily were out, Javier heard what he thought was Rick calling his name from the living room. He got up to investigate, but found only Charlie sitting on the couch, grinning maniacally. The house grew colder, and things grew even more disturbing. Strange noises became a nightly occurrence. Footsteps that seemed to come from nowhere, whispers calling Lily's name in the darkness, and the chilling feeling that they were being watched. The family could no longer ignore the sinister presence that had overtaken their home. Terrified, Rick and Maria decided the doll had to go. Being devout Catholics, they first tried to cleanse the house with prayer, but that did nothing to stem the growing dread. With trembling hands, Rick placed the doll on the grill in an attempt to burn it. As the flames flickered to life, something truly horrifying happened. The flames wouldn't touch Charlie. No matter how much heat they applied, the doll remained perfectly intact, its smile never wavering. Desperate, they tried to cut the doll into pieces with a knife. No matter how much force was applied to the knife, the blade would not penetrate the plastic. It was as if the doll was protected by an invisible force. In a final act of defiance, they threw Charlie in the trash, hoping to rid themselves of the cursed object. But when the garbage truck arrived, Rick found the doll back in the bin, untouched and unscathed. The family realized they were dealing with something far more sinister than they could handle. So they decided to bury the doll. They dug a hole in their backyard, placed Charlie inside and poured cement over it, sealing it forever. Years passed. The Martin family eventually moved away, but the haunting never left them. Lily, now an adult, still remembers the terror that gripped her as a child. Though they had tried everything to destroy the doll, she wonders, what if it's still out there, waiting for them to return? To this day, Lily fears that Charlie, the doll that wouldn't die, may one day find them again, stalking from the shadows, waiting for the moment when it can finally come alive once more.